Hello, hello, hello. Let me just double check everything is working peachy smooth here first before we get too far into what we're doing. Audio seems to be working good, but my video quality seems to be quite terrible. We are here today because we are currently what is it? 4 days out from the release of Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. And I kind of want to just start wrapping our brains around thinking, just let's just get some juices flowing. You know what I mean? Let's get some juices flowing. Let's see if we can let's just figure this thing out. All right? I think some of the biggest questions that I think, yo, what is going on next, lad? How you doing there, buddy? I think with chapter 5, I think the biggest questions when it comes to Poppy Playtime is trying to figure out, one, whether or not we're going to be meeting the prototype, right? And two, what does he look like? Other than that, I really don't know how much anybody cares about really anything else. I think my biggest thing that I'm going to be worried about is how stressful the gameplay is going to be, because Chapter 3 was just an absolute nightmare. It was super stressful, and then I thought Chapter 4, which I just finished, and I finished posting the last final part to that was not nearly as stressful as Chapter 3, in my opinion. I've had other people say it was just as stressful, but I disagree with that. For me, it wasn't. It was a lot easier. It was like the characters took longer to kill you and whatnot, and it was just not as bad. Chapter 3 was just a whole nother kit and caboodle. And then Paul Bishop is here. And then Chapter 5, I think we're going to ramp back into the stress factor because it seems a lot more terrifying. So after the heartbreak of Dowie that we have experienced in Chapter 4, we are now getting ready for Chapter 5. And I'm going to be honest, I think we're going to come across a prototype. I've seen some people give some ideas saying they don't think that we're going to come across the prototype. But here's the thing. The game has a theme of every single character that's on the cover of the games is atypically the final boss, if you will, that you end up defeating. Right? And so the prototype's hand, at least, is on the Chapter 5, so that just leads me to believe, if we're following the same pattern, that that's going to be the person that we're defeating. If I'm not mistaken, somebody else tell me if they have a different theory. But I also kind of just want to sit here and try to talk about just some of the concepts that are going around about what the prototype looks like, because I'm seeing all these people, they were commenting on some of my things, and I started looking into videos, and there's this mass sort of theory that the prototype is a jester for some reason. And to me, personally, I have no idea where people are pulling that out of their ass. I am not seeing the jester at all. I mean, I got some videos pulled up, and we can kind of look at those again and take a look back. I've seen a couple of different theories. People are theorizing because of the ending scene in I think it was the gameplay trailer, the prototype breaks the glass, and you see a reflection of the prototype in that glass. And, people have put together pieces of the glass to try to say that it's a jester of some sort, and that you can see a hat with like a bell or something like that. And people just took that concept and ran with it, and I have no idea where they're getting that from. But hey, what's going on? How you doing? Thank you for being here. But in general, I mean, like, look. If let's take a look at some of these pictures we got here. All right, hold on. Let me get some of these out of the way. So, like, these are two of the main pictures that I kind of pulled. This is overall Catnap's sort of shrine to the prototype that he has, and this is like the biggest theory, kind of lasting for a while. Hello, what is going on, Tiffany? How are you doing? Thank you for being here. But this was overall the shrine that Catnap had built for the prototype. Oh, I know, dude. Honestly, Poppy Playtime in general, I did not think I was going to be that much into it. I just started getting into kind of FNAF a little bit, and then as soon as I did that, I needed to film a video, and I already had Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 downloaded, and then it led me down a rabbit hole, and now I'm just like, this has all been my focus for like the last like 2 months. Yeah, dude. And so, but anyways, if we're taking a look at this is the little shrine that Catnap had built to, what's it called? The prototype. And Catnap kind of views him as this god, so he had this shrine, and he was kind of sitting there T-posing, right, in Chapter 3, towards this shrine. And this was kind of the biggest theory that people were really running with for a while, that it was this kind of, like, Terminator skeleton guy, kind of like the Ritual. It reminds me of the Ritual, how it's like that big deer thing with, like, half a person hanging off the front of it. And people were really kind of running with this concept until these gameplay trailers started running around, and then it just like 180 switched to this Jester character. And I'm telling you, dude. Yeah, I'm assuming. Okay, so see, that's what I wanted to get to, and that. How's my day night going? My day night is going very well, thank you. I appreciate that. How's your day night going? But the prototype, what I assume is, yes, it will be an amalgamation of the different toys, which there you go for vocab right there. Just in the sense of, like, if you put together the pieces of what the prototype is doing kind of throughout the little snippets you see, they're kind of just like dragging the toys that you kill kind of out of the abyss, and then on top of it, the whatchamacallit, in the trailers, they're like kind of doing surgery and putting things together. And if you look at the gameplay trailer, all these toys are now these like zombified toys. So it's, and with these kind of needle hands, it wouldn't surprise me that with the prototype seeming as this kind of experimenter putting things together and whatnot, on top of their voice being this conglomerate of multiple toys kind of swapping back and forth, kind of like Bumblebee from frickin' Transformers. I do believe, and on top of this little homage right here from Catnap, I do believe that it is going to be this big spider combination thing of multiple different toys. I think, but again, like, if you take a look at, not this guy, not this rat, this was like a part of one of the trailers, and it showed like this reflection of like his face turning. And that's kind of where I'd made a little drawing, but we will redo it live for y'all right here, right now. Because like what I'm kind of seeing in this little face right here is, if you imagine, stay with me, hold on, we got to get a brush. We got to add a layer. Hold on a minute. Okay. I think this is having me draw on the wrong thing, but who cares? So I was imagining like this kind of longer face. Wait, that looks terrible. I was imagining like a longer face, right? Which, granted, it's a reflection, so it's going to be a little warped and whatnot, but, you know, what are you going to do? And then this is going to be a little eye. This is going to be another eye. And then, look, he's got this, like, Muppet thing right here where it just kind of looks like just, like, a fold. This kind of looks like Spider-Man. Think about it. And then I noticed this right here is kind of like a black void. So then I imagine, let's take our fill tool here. Let's fill that in with black. And then, you know what? I already had the color selected. Kind of this tan face. So I'm just imagining, like, something like this. Just this weird, like, I've said it in a short. I think he's going to look like this weird kind of Muppet thing. But then, you know, at the end of that one trailer, you see, like, a glowing eye. So I could very well see, you know, let's dabble a little bit of red in there, maybe. Bingo. There he is. That's the full concept. That's the prototype right there. But I don't know. Let's maybe take a pause here and let's look at some of these whatchamacallit. So let's look at some of these videos again real quick. So this is the first trailer that dropped a while ago. And this was the cinematic trailer that they had put out a little bit ago. Let me know if y'all can see this okay enough. Yeah, salad fingers but brown, for real. And this is like a new hand that I'm assuming we're gonna need. I think someone had brought that up too. I mean, that's honestly kind of a given. That's kind of a stupid thing to say, but nonetheless, this is gonna be a new hand that we're gonna be dealing with, which is kind of cool. We got the good old spider legs. We saw these in Chapter 4. So this is kind of what I'm talking about, the way the prototype is going around doing all this weird experimental stuff on the rip with the beginning cinematic trailer that we have. Again, you kind of can see over here. I don't know if you can see that in the shorts version. Yes, you can. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, hold on. Back to what we were talking about. So, if you look over here, we can see these little zombified things, so we know the prototype's working on making these monstrous creations, and then right here. Okay. Look at that. You know how quickly I had to pause that to freeze frame that? Okay. Of every monster, you know, from Mommy Longlegs. Yeah, I'm assuming every monster that we've killed up to this point is going to be incorporated into this prototype. But, like, I just feel like this is the one detail a lot of people are just looking past. Like, everybody's so focused on the new gameplay trailer at the end with the reflection you see of the glass breaking, but nobody's, like, really taking this into account, I feel like, which is, I feel like, a problem. Because why else would they add this? And then, you know, at the end, you get the legs and the arms. Oh, and then here you can hear the voice.
It's time to go.
So, yeah, I don't know. So let's cut to the new trailer that everybody is absolutely fixating on. So this is our this is our gameplay trailer that everybody was focusing on.
Don't be afraid.
I can fix you.
No more games. No more lies.
Let's be scared
Together.
Abby. You.
And already with the way that this begins, showing all the people we've already defeated, that is what also leads me to believe
You're the one they've been talking about.
all of the characters we've beaten so far are
We're
going
not
to
the
be
first to try and
incorporated
take out
into
the prototype.
I can see you.
Everyone tries, you fail.
He's going to kill them all.
But everyone has a weakness. This is our chance.
It's you. You're alive. You're running out of time. 5, 4, 3,
this part right here is what everyone is fixating on, which everybody's like, if you turn the picture sideways and if you put the glass together and look at it, but I'm also like, well, dude, the shadow's coming from here. The prototype's not looking down from this direction. He's coming from this direction. So the face would have to be this way, with like this being the forehead, this being the chin area, right? Unless their head's cocked in a weird way. But even then, like, I don't know. It's a good freeze frame for this. If you ask me, dude, oh, wait a minute. You know what would make sense? You know what I'm getting a little glimpse of here? Okay. Hold on, everybody lock in. Hold on, let me double check that this is positioned a little bit correctly in here for y'all so you can really see what I'm talking about. Okay, so look at like right here. Look at like right here. You see like a little thing flop when he kind of first leans up. See that? I feel like, oddly enough, if we're going with the theory that he's made up of all the characters we've beaten, that maybe he has Catnap's head for some reason. You know what I mean? Because this would more make sense in the sense of Catnap had these same crazy glowing eyes. And maybe this has even been hinted in the way that, like, the little toys of Catnap are always kind of dead laying around the map in Chapter 4 and whatnot. Maybe one of them is missing an eye. I don't know. Maybe that's, like, hinting towards it. But even then, like, that looks like to me right here like a ear flopping. You know what I mean? Like, this looks like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Who else has ideas on this? You're saying Catnap's tail? You're seeing a tail somewhere? But even then, I don't know where people are getting the Jester at, dude. I don't know where people are pulling this Jester theory out of their ass. Oh my god, dude, I don't know. Oh, wait. I mean, that aside, let me show y'all an old theory of what he looked like. This was posted about a year ago when I believe when the first cinematic trailer came out. It could have been before that. But this guy had taken into consideration too some of the things that the developers were saying as well, which I think is something a lot of people are missing. I think everybody's just fixating on that broken glass freaking piece of evidence.
We finally know what the full body of the prototype actually looks like. For starters, we were given information from the game developers that put together the actual toy model that the prototype is meant to be in the first place. But what do I mean? Well, we know based on all of the other main antagonists we've come across in Poppy Playtime that the bosses of every single chapter we've played through so far have been based on a specific toy model that you can actually still find in real life. Basically what we need to figure out what they look like. And it turns out connecting this to the prototype itself reveals a pretty important pattern tying to its appearance. This is the important part. You see, Chapter 1's boss, Huggy Wuggy, was originally made to resemble a sock monkey. Chapter 2's boss, Mommy Longlegs, was made to resemble Betty Spaghetti. And Chapter 3's boss, Catnap, was made to resemble the Care Bears, along with all of the other smiling critters, meaning a super important pattern was already popping up to connect to the prototype as well, obviously the most likely boss of the next game. We know that a specific toy from real life is supposed to be the inspiration for the prototype's actual appearance, leaving us with just one question. Which toy is it? Well, it turns out we know more about this important toy cluing us into the mystery of the prototype than you might think. You see, another important pattern ended up popping up with the other bosses. Specifically, the fact that each and every one of their toys used for inspiration were chosen by the game designers to be a popular toy from the 1900s. The Care Bears connecting to Catnap being the most popular in the 80s, Betty Spaghetti connecting to Mommy Longlegs being a well-known product in the 90s, and the sock monkey for Huggy Wuggy originating in the 1950s. So going through the
Hey,
list
JR,
of
thanks for
potential
subscribing, man. I
options that
appreciate
would
that.
fit the most important
woman,
boss
whatever
of
you
the
are.
entire
Sorry.
franchise, the prototype, it turns out one fan of the series has already made the discovery that would start to solve everything. I've always had the prediction that Experiment 1006,
That's very
the
true.
prototype,
Just
just
the eye
from
of
his
Catnap
arm
being in the-
design
in the face
alone,
would also
could
make
possibly
sense.
be inspired by those vintage Erector sets. I used to have some sets as a kid, which is why when I see the prototype's arm, I'm reminded of that. But why the Erector set? Well, the prototype's actual body itself actually, believe it or not, perfectly matches up with some of the specific models that were released along with the Erector set franchise. Specifically, a robot that was created in the same exact time period as some of the other inspiration toys connected to the other main bosses, even complete with one large claw designed to grab and move things. Erector sets stick out as even more important here in determining the prototype's design based on the fact that they were originally released way back before any of the other toys used for inspiration for the other main bosses, specifically in 1913, which, if you think about it, makes a whole lot of sense if the prototype was designed to be the original, the main design in the Poppy Playtime factory that literally came before anything else. And to add on to the connection here, we know that even more recent Erector sets have been used to combine bits and pieces of other sets all together onto one large robotic-like body. If that doesn't sound similar to the prototype, I literally don't know what to tell you. And having this inspiration for the prototype's actual design tells us that the full model is likely going to be a lot more robotic than what we were originally
What's up, JR?
expecting. An idea mapped out by another fan of the franchise who puts together the base layer of the prototype without any of the additional parts draped over it, more similar to what we ended up seeing with Catnap's statue meant to replicate the prototype in the first place. But after finding the main inspiration for the prototype's base layer, we still need to know what the actual appearance of the full thing is meant to look like as well. The next step in revealing the full body of this thing. And it turns out we already have the full story figured out. You see, it turns out the actual shape and structure of this design we're clued into for the prototype actually connects to what we've already seen from another game. A huge connection hiding in plain sight that we're able to find in Portal 2. But what would Poppy Playtime have to do with Portal 2 in the first place? Well, it turns out popular theorist Terrico has already put together the idea that the Poppy Playtime game devs have been using Portal 2 this entire time to hide important details about their own game. Basically, they left in a ton of connections between both of these games that even connects to the body of the prototype itself. Terrico revealed that both games were based on the dark story of experiments gone wrong, both specifically using orphans to carry out these experiments in the first place, both including similar in-game tools such as the portal gun and grab pack, both even including almost identical looking posters and Easter eggs hidden within the games in the first place. There were countless connections found between Portal 2 and Poppy Playtime that told us Poppy Playtime had been using certain elements of Portal 2 as inspiration. But what would this tell us about the prototype in its full body? Well, it turns out the Portal franchise has its own equivalent of the prototype that has way more connections than you might think. Specifically, the main antagonist GLaDOS, who appears as a very intelligent, wiry, robotic-like figure that resembles the prototype in a lot of ways. We know that the prototype itself is likely to be Elliot Ludwig, the CEO of the company, who was later taken and held by some of the scientists as the prototype, before the prototype managed to outsmart the scientists and escape, while also causing the Hour of Joy incident to take place. And making the connection over to Portal 2, we know that GLaDOS, this game's prototype equivalent, was said to be the wife of the company's CEO, known as the very backbone of the company that kept getting turned off and controlled by the scientists at first, before she managed to outsmart the scientists, just like the prototype, by claiming to have lost interest in killing. And after regaining the company's trust, GLaDOS caused a similarly infamous event known as bring your cat to work day, which obviously went terribly wrong, as she used the opportunity to lock down the entire facility, trapping all inside and ending the lives of all but one. And with so many connections to this character that the Papa Playtime game devs clearly used for inspiration for making the prototype in the first place, this would obviously connect to the physical body of GLaDOS as well. It turns out flipping the character's model upside down shows us everything that the prototype is meant to be modeled after. A mainly robotic design base shaped similarly to the design we've already seen revealed by Catnap's early depiction of it, that also connects to the bits and pieces used to originally create erector sets. So based on this information connected to the prototype's body, I believe a sort of combination of these two elements, as we know features such as a skull are included on the toy version, make up what it's actually supposed to look like. But as for the prototypes behind the scenes that reveals more specific information about its body, we know based on the newer posts made by Mob Entertainment that we can actually figure out more about the prototype's real design. Some of the behind the scenes while designing this model, as well as some of the other characters from Chapter 3, started to pop up in various ArtStation posts that were recently revealed to us. We saw ports for the Smiling Critters, early designs for Catnap, as well as a very mysterious model that was strangely added in with the rest with no explanation. And believe it or not, this secret model added in with the rest had a very specific connection to the prototype itself. So for everything we know about this model to reveal the rest of the story, I put everything showed to us early in this video right here. So for the full situation on the prototype's full...
I don't know if I'm going to look at that one, but I feel like this is a great video. It's by a guy called Internet Inferno. But I mean, I feel like these are the details that people are skimming past with the Jester theories, because it's like, if you look at what's been building up to what the prototype is, if you look at the frickin' let's see here. Where did I have that picture at? Right here. Hold up. Get this dude out of here. I mean, if you look at the Catnap's homage, if you look at the face in the glass, if you look at the face in the knife and whatever and stuff like that, it's like, I think it's looking like, I just realized too, that video with the theory that dude put together, that was before even the release of Chapter 4, and he was already getting that far, and I feel like that would make sense, because he's also taking a look at things like dev notes and what they're talking about, and the fact that they're using already existing toys, especially from the 1900s, to kind of relay all of these toys back to something with the Care Bears and the spaghetti whatever lady. And I think this is all stuff people are just looking past, because again, someone was like, oh, it looks like there's a bell and it's a Jester. But wait, hold on. Wait, I think the biggest thing someone has said is like, it looks like a Jester in the glass and that there's a little bell hanging down, thinking that would be like the side of a Jester hat. But wouldn't that more make sense if that's a part of Catnap because of his collar? Am I tripping? Doesn't Catnap have a bell collar? Wouldn't that make more sense than a Jester hat? Like, I feel like a Jester would be coming from absolutely nowhere. Catnap. Oh, he's got his little moon necklace thing. Huh. Hold on, let's see if we can, let's look up a theory on, let's look up a more modern theory of someone who thinks that the prototype looks like a Jester. Here we go.
Well. We just got another new clue about the prototype.
Okay, let's watch this. I haven't really watched too much of the theories.
Under our roof.
Yo, what's going on,
American
Rover?
Insurance.
How you doing?
Well. We just got another new clue about this one is actually pretty interesting. Over the past few days, we've been getting a lot of developer hints about the prototype. Mob team members have said things like, his design is better than 95% of fan designs. We've seen the pumpkin face in the Halloween artwork. We've seen the knife reflection in the trailer. At this point, it's clear that Mob is slowly building up the reveal. But today, we got one more clue. And it came from Amber. As most of you know, Amber is a key member of the Mob Entertainment team, and she's been responsible for dropping some of the biggest hints we've gotten so far. Yesterday, a fan asked her a very simple but smart question. Describe the prototype 1006 in one word, and Amber replied with just one word: large. That's it, just large. And honestly, that makes a lot of sense. If you look at the trailer, every part of the prototype we've seen so far looks huge. The arms, the legs, the scale compared to the environment. This isn't a normal-sized character. Now, when you combine this with all the other clues, especially the idea that the prototype's face could look jester-like, things get even more interesting. A large, towering prototype with a jester-style face? That would be absolutely terrifying. And with all these hints lining up, there's a very real chance that Mob could finally show more of the prototype in the gameplay trailer. Not a full reveal, but enough to confirm what we've been theorizing. So now I want to know what you think. Do you think the prototype's face will actually resemble a
Bruh, is that
jester?
all this
And
dude
do you
said?
think the gameplay trailer will finally show it? Let me know in the comments.
Was that all this dude said? Let's see. I know there's a lot of shorts about it, I think. Prototype gesture. Oh, wait. That last one actually looked a little better.
In relation, Experiment 1006, the prototype.
Lumajuso TV. The latest VHS video has revealed new details about the prototype.
Dr. Newman.
Now, Doctor. We must.
Isn't that right?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please.
That's funny. You're the
Second person.
I forget today.
said that. The other was my
Good friend, Preston.
Preston.
Is this like made up? Is this just like a made up kind of fan made lore thing?
Was
Always.
nice to me.
This looks kind of fake. Oh, it's the bee cat. Ooh, that's creepy. Yeah, well, I definitely figured this Leith Pierre or somebody was ingrained into the concept of the prototype, because if you also think about it, the prototype would either have to be the first toy that they were working on, or based on all the lore of these experiments that they were running out of this place, it tells me they were trying to do some, like, immortality thing where they try to incorporate themselves into a toy or something like that, and then they don't die. So I figured it was going to be like the founder or something turned into a toy, which would also make sense back with the theory that the prototype has this half skeleton dude hanging out the front of him, which is probably Leith Pierre. I don't freaking know. What is this doing? What is this VHS tape coming from? Is this on some Discord? For last year's Halloween art, in a way, yes, but it's pretty obscure. Oh, wait, what? This brings us to the Halloween artwork when it hinted that there was a pretty obscure secret that had not yet been discovered. Okay, hold on. So, before they zoom in on that, it looks like everybody seems to be focused in on this, because it does look like it's the odd one out. But they said it would have to be pretty obscure, right? I feel like that's too obvious. I feel like everybody just was like, oh, Halloween art? Oh, boom, there he is. No way. I mean, it would kind of make sense, though, in the sense of, like, having this one glowing eye. But is there something we're missing here? Is there something that we are missing here? What here could allude to the prototype besides that? I mean, this would make sense in the sense that it's like in the center of everything, right? It's got the one eye, it's got the blank eye, it's got this creepy smile. But even then, I wouldn't say that that's a jester based off of that, right? But they said it was. Oh, what's this? Whoa. Hold on a minute. Why is no one talking about the hand up here? What does that lead to? Why? What is that about? Huh. Lily Love braids? What's making you say Lily Love braids? The hand? I feel like everybody was so quick to see this Halloween art and assume this had something to do with the prototype, but I don't think anybody's even really talked about what this hand is right here. There's a braid around the pumpkin? What pumpkin? Which one? Where are you seeing a braid? Am I tripping? Around the tree? There's a braid around a pumpkin around the tree. Am I tweaking? I don't know what braid you're talking about. Which one? It's around the tree. Are you saying... It looks orange and blends in. Around the tree. Well, now you got me thinking. Now I just want to look at super tiny details. Because if the game dev did say in an obscure way that this hinted to what the prototype looks like, it would not be that easy of just this middle face in the thing. I still don't know where you're getting braids from. Is it like top of the tree, left a little? Next to the house? This thing right here? Oh, next to the house plant. Oh, whatever this is. All this jazz. Whatever the hell's going on here. But if the game devs... Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured that would have just been like some weird freaking smudge error. How are you getting braids out of that? What the hell? But if game dev says in an obscure way that this picture somehow leads us to the reveal of the prototype, what is like the tiniest... Oh. True. But also, I don't know how this looks like braids though either. But I'll take your word for it because I really don't know what else that would be because it looks really weird. But I'm also more curious of what's going on with this hand right here. Like, this guy's about to zoom in on this thing, but nobody... I feel like we need to be worried about the hand. My favorite chapter so far... I want to honestly say 2 was a solid one. I want to say chapter 2 is pretty solid just because it was like the perfect amount of like stressful and puzzles, but not too bad. I think 1 was just, chapter 1 was your pilot, so it was really easy. And then I think chapter 2 is where they kind of kicked it into gear, but it was still like kind of leaning you into it. Chapter 3, they just hit you with the worst of everything. And then chapter 4, I think they realized that chapter 3 was the worst of everything. And so chapter 4 was like a little too easy and just kind of like, it was very lore oriented, which I just appreciated as a breath of fresh air after chapter 3. But I think chapter 2 was kind of my solid out of all of them. As of, what would my favorite character be? I'd say looks-wise, my favorite character would probably be the computer dudes from Chapter 4 from The Doctor. I think those were pretty sick. But I mean, I don't know. What would you define as favorite character in the sense of who I find creepiest or who I just think is cool or what? What are you thinking? Oh, this is where people are getting the Jester from. Design, creepy, and just character. I think the creepiest one... Oh, damn, that's actually kind of tough. Who would I think is the creepiest character? Honestly, Catnap. I think Catnap straight up was one of the creepiest. And then I guess best like character design. Character design. I would say the prototype is the creepiest from kind of what we've seen, but honestly, with what we've seen, I'm not like too scared in the sense of like, I don't know, just the robotic feet and the hands just kind of remind me of like a mixture of like Coraline, the lady from Coraline mixed with like the crab dude from Monsters Inc. So like that doesn't really creep me out too much. Like we'll see how it is if we get a full body reveal sometime soon. But Catnap was just creepy as hell because he's just like this anorexic, lanky dude who's got these glowing eyes that's always just kind of creeping on you. And then even in the final like section when we had that kind of FNAF mechanics having to defend him in that room, he just kept coming up in this weird way. And like, I don't know, I found him really creepy. So I think Catnap is the creepiest for me. But best like character design... I feel like that would have to be one of the main ones we've seen in the chapter because all the side characters, you don't really get enough of them to like really think they have like better design. I mean, I think Pugapillar was a cool idea, but or whatever the hell they were calling them. But I think out of the main boss characters, probably Doughy was my favorite character design in the sense of they did a good job of like you like them, and then you, like, feel bad for them at the end. You know what I mean? Oh, really? Where's that video at? During the chase and the restricted salvation, you hear the prototype using a grab pack. Hold on. Let me see here. Restricted salvation chase.
There are 3 secrets in Restricted Salvation. 1. The Braun we see is actually Thomas Clark from Restricted Restoration. He was an employee who had...
Oh, is restricted salvation these? Oh, are these the VHS tapes they're pulling up? Okay, I was just wondering
Who
where
can
this
file
was
for
coming
free
from.
in the TurboTax app? Entrepreneurs, musicians, even overachievers. No matter your tax situation,
Okay, I think I need
switch
to
to
dive more
TurboTax
deeply
and file free
into
in the app by
Mob
228.
Entertainment YouTube channel overall because I wasn't understanding where people were getting these VHS kind of videos from. I didn't know where they were whipping them out. But let's watch this, shall we?
Preston?
Oh,
Sorry, but I wouldn't see a toy bloodied, ripped in half, and really be freaked out. It's a toy, it should not be bleeding. Whoa, whoa, what was that? Those eyes?
God. Oh, God.
Good evening.
Dr. Newman.
Now, Doctor. We must.
Please, I'm so
Isn't
sorry.
that
I'm sorry.
right?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please.
That's funny. You're the
Second person.
I fit today.
who said that. The other was my
Good friend, Preston.
Preston was
Always.
nice to me. You were never very nice.
Were you?
Dr. Newman. I'm so glad you were there.
You're talking like right at the beginning there? That's where you're hearing it? Because I hear like something, sounds like something's getting hit, but... Up the stairs. We're talking, you kind of can hear like a ka-thunk. The retraction sound, like the rap rap, whatever the hell it kind of sounds like if you just were to quickly swish on like. Hold up. I don't know. Because, again, he is more of a mechanical-like creature, so I feel like I'm just getting a whole lot of mechanic sounds going on there. At the beginning, at the very beginning of when she starts getting chased. Let's see. All right, let's keep taking a look at this. Let's keep taking a look at this. First few seconds of just the whole video, or the first few seconds of the chase? There, okay, let's see. Where are you getting this from? What is there a video that talks about that concept? Is there a video that's talking about this concept at all that's telling people you heard grab pack in this? You know what, though? This does remind me, though, of the the computer guys in chapter 4. Yo, what up? What up, Sloopy? How you doing? Thank you for being here. You know, this little beginning here when it's like doing this bright face thing, that's reminding me of the way that the computers kind of boot up and make noises when they chase you in chapter 4. If I'm not mistaken. Let's go watch my video I just posted on it real quick. And double check here. Because that could allude to something else, if I'm being honest with you. That could allude to the prototype being mainly a computer guy. Just a little bit, eh? Hold up. Hold on. Where am I going? Where am I going with this? Oh my god. View channel. I just fell through the map, bro. Dude, I just fell through the map. This has got to be the first of its kind. What the hell? He's spitting at me. He's spitting at me. That is a plot twist of a century. Let me find these computers.
To Poppy Playtime, Chapter 4,
here.
Safe Haven.
Come out here. I have to be able to do it from up here. How did I deal with these computer guys? They were pretty early on in the game, right? Yeah. Got it. Bruh, you telling me that's all we got of him? That was cool, though. He looked cool. I like that. I like that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so how? How do I...
See the way these guys
around these guys? Are they not going to kill me?
noise
They just kind of move? Oh, shit. This is not cool, dude. I feel like that's kind of reminiscent of what's going on in this restricted chase video, right? Right here. Oh, no, dude. But then there's just this giant spider dude with one glowing eye. I don't know. I don't freaking know. All I know is I'm seeing a whole lot of theories of people thinking the prototype looks like a freaking jester, and I'm just not believing it. I think using the game developer had said that the Halloween art they did last year or whatever was a big tell of like it oddly hinted to the prototype in a weird way, and everybody instantly fixated on the pumpkin that was dead middle of the screen, and that just to me doesn't make any sense. On top of the reflection we've seen, on top of the mock-up that Catnap made as an homage to him that we've seen, on top of the reflection in the glass shards. I mean, let me go screenshot this reflection in the glass shards. But I just don't think I don't think this jester theory is correct, if I'm being honest with you. I'm going to say it. I don't believe the jester theory. Rip. Who we ripping? Let me look here. Let me go back to the official gameplay trailer.
Wait a minute.
I don't care for ads, dude. I just don't care for them. Hold up. Oh, I know, dude. R.I.P. Doey. It's such a shame that Doey died. It for real kind of made me a little sad, if I'm being honest with you. Done did broke my heart. Alright, hold on, ready? Wait. I think I could just copy and paste in here. Where are people getting a jester out of this image? Someone want to riddle me that? Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Taking a look at all the evidence, some of the evidence that has been compiled from over a year ago on different theories when they thought he would be revealed in Chapter 4, on top of just some of the little nuggets that we are getting now. I think the only reason people think it's a jester is because there was a jester in some sort of Christmas art that the developers had freaking put out there, and there was a jester tarot card looking thing on the wall. But I mean, did anybody even look up to what the jester tarot card means or anything, seeing if that hinted to something? Wait, hold up. My brother's calling me. Let's answer. Yes? I'm live right now. What do you want from me? I'm talking about Chapter 5 and what I believe the prototype's going to look like. We're going to play League of Legends. All right. Oh my god, we're going to literally become like challengers, bro, and we're going to be better than Faker. All right. All right, I got to hang up later. My bad. That was very unprofessional. Back to what we were talking about. But everybody fixated on this jester idea from the Christmas art that came out. Let's pull that up. Copy Playtime developer Christmas art images. Yes. Nucleus. Can we copy image? So everybody saw this and they just ran with it. They absolutely ran with this. I don't know what the game developer... am I streaming on the 18th? I'm not going to stream Chapter 5 on the 18th, but I think I'm for real going to take off work and grind it out so that I can just for real record the game and post it on the 18th. So I do plan on getting Chapter 5 out Wednesday when it comes out. Like, I might even do something where if it drops at 12 o'clock, like, I'll for real just, like, sleep the day before during the day and then stay up so when it hits at 12 o'clock, then I'm playing the game. So I'm not going to stream it, but I'm expecting to have the video up on the 18th. But I think the game developer had said that this somehow also hinted to the reveal of what the prototype looks like. But again, I feel like everybody's fixating on the wrong details. With this and with the Halloween one, they're focusing on the jester right away. On this one, or the pumpkin in the middle with the weird face, and then here they're like, it's the jester because the jester's back here. But I'm also like, what's your point? Because there's also this tarot card over here. Did anybody consider that? Did anybody consider anything else? And then, you know, people got a whiff of that and then just ran with the idea that the prototype's going to be a jester. And I'm telling you right now, it's not a jester. Sue me if it is. The full Poppy Playtime card meeting. Let's look it up. The full Poppy Playtime card meeting. The full tarot card featured in Poppy Playtime, specifically the Christmas New Year's artwork, signifies a new beginning, innocence, and a naive leap into the unknown, likely representing the player character or prototype starting a dangerous new chapter. Symbolizes taking risks, potential, and the reckless pursuit of a journey despite impending danger. I mean, that makes sense with, like, the game's storyline. But I don't know if that would hint at what the prototype looks like. You know what I mean? I think that's just their little wink at being like, yo, it's going to get crazy. But hold on. So this has to be post Chapter 4, right? Because Yarnaby wasn't until Chapter 4. So was this posted last Christmas that they did this? Let me see. Let's look at the tiny details here. What do they got going on? See, the prototype's here, dude. He's literally right here. He's got his arm coming in. But I didn't see that. Just blended in with the trees. Did anybody notice that? Anybody taking that into consideration? I feel like I'm losing my mind here. I feel like it wouldn't just be as easy as being like, well, there's the jester, and in the Halloween photo, the pumpkin looks kind of like a jester. Let me look up Poppy Playtime Halloween art. Okay, let's pull up the Halloween art too while we're at it, shall we? We're getting down to business. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this one out. Okay, hold on. Jack in the Box would be cool just as an amalgamation of random things that includes a jester hat. Look at the Happy New Year artwork. The prototype has jest sleeve. Happy New Year artwork. Let's check it out. We have to take it into consideration. Happy New Year artwork. I'm assuming you're referring to this one. Or is it this one? What's the official one here? These all kind of look weird. I don't know which one's the official one. Here, I'm going to drag in this image and you tell me if I got the correct image. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're talking about this one? This is bad resolution. Why is it bad resolution? That doesn't look right. This one looks like it could be kind of following the theme a little bit better. I think this is like some sort of fan-made one. I could be tripping. Whoa, this one's huge. Is this the official art here? by Mob. I think this is the Mob one, right? Mob Entertainment. Mob's New Year artwork. Yeah, so this, I think this is the one you're referring to. So you're seeing he's got a jester sleeve. Well, hold on. First off, where is the prototype's arm? Where's the prototype's arm? I'm not seeing it nowhere, but it's got to be in here. Prototype's arm's got to be in here. Oh, I know. I can't wait for the prototype battle either. I have a feeling Chapter 5 is going to be the end of it. I like this eye, though, because I'm assuming that's the prototype to some extent, right? That's his eye. Wherever the hand is, though, I'm not seeing the hand anywhere. I have a feeling Chapter 5, though, is going to be the final one, because, again, if we're following the theme of the games, they put the final bosses as the cover for each of the games. So the first one, you had Huggy Wuggy, and then he was the main boss. The second one, you had Mommy Longlegs or whatever. She was that boss. Then you had Catnap. Then you had Doughy. This one has the prototype's hand as the freaking cover of it, so I feel like that's got to be our sign. Oh, okay. Okay, so you say this is not the correct artwork. Poppy Playtime Happy New Year artwork. Ah, yes. This looks like maybe what you're talking about. No. This looks like it's fan-made. Hold on. Mob Entertainment Poppy Playtime Happy New Year artwork. Do they have like an Instagram or something that they're posting these on? Let me look this up. Because I'm not finding Mob Entertainment. Okay. This looks about right. What is this? Oh, okay. Okay, I did see this one. Okay, hold on. I did see this Dark Abyss one. Do they have it where it's all one image instead of 5 different images? That would really be helpful, but... Okay. What the hell? What? What's going on here? It's almost time to say goodbye to 2025. Kick off a countdown with Chapter 4. What's your favorite moment? Oh, okay, wait. So this isn't the New Year's one officially. I'm not seeing this official artwork for New Year's. I'm seeing the Christmas one, like on their actual Instagram. I'm seeing the Christmas one. Let's scroll back further, see if we see the Halloween one anywhere. Let me see. Prototype, nah. By Mob, it's prototype holding a flower. Yeah, look at the sleeve. 1 month ago on channel post. Oh, on YouTube? Okay, wait, my bad. Sorry, since I have my browser pulled up, I'm not looking at the chat. Hold up. Let's go take a look here. Mob Entertainment. Channel posts. I'm really, oh, okay. They have a Valentine's Day one that just came out, which is interesting. This is kind of cool. Hold on, this one. Wait, we can get rid of that one. That one's useless to us. This one just came out, which is kind of dope. Let me see. What else do they got here? New Year's. Happy New Year. Oh, okay. I see. Hold on. Let's bring this one up. Pull it up. Roll the clip. So where are you seeing a jester sleeve in this? Because I feel like I see what you're talking about. But to me, like this thing. You said 2 picks down? Yeah. So I'm seeing this, and I'm kind of seeing what you're talking about. What we can even do is, honestly, I would find it funny if I just, like, raise the exposure for this. If they actually, like, have the details all in there. But just, like, hidden, really dark. Yeah, I don't know if that's... See, when it's really dark, it looks like it would be like... Let me outline it in white here. How about that? Let's add a new layer to draw on top here. Let's do a playthrough play. So I could see how if it's really dark, it looks like you got this, and you got this. And then this is a little collar with like a little bit of like pokey gesture sleeveness going on here. I could see that, but now that I'm also raising the brightness on this, that just looks like mechanicalness. You know what I mean? And let me see if that draws parallels to anything we've kind of seen before, too. Also, hold up. What is going on with my graph here? Why is it doing all this? Ain't nobody asking for that. Let's really raise this up. The power of editing, ladies and gentlemen. He's holding a flower just like the jester. Well, and you know what? Let me give you let's entertain this idea. Where's our jester at here? He does look like he's holding a flower. I don't remember what the video is that has this in a little bit better of a resolution here. Let me look it up. But also, I will say the flower has been just overall a theme through the entire game. And I think you could also argue that they threw the jester into this in the sense of it's supposed to mean, like, you know, the whole... let me read that definition again. Let me read the fool's definition again of why they used it. So yeah, the jester does hold a flower, and it says that it signifies this jester card, tarot card, resembles new beginnings, innocence, and a naive leap into the unknown, likely representing the player character or prototype starting a dangerous new That's interesting. I don't know why it says that, actually, now that I'm reading that back, why it says the player character, and then in parentheses, or prototype, starting a dangerous new chapter. It symbolizes taking risks, potential, and reckless pursuit of a journey despite the impending danger. I mean, I could very well see it meaning that, like, they would use this flower constantly, because you see the flower in Chapter 1 on the door. You see the flower in just throughout the game. They have the flower on like the generator box that you're supposed to open in Chapter 3, and it's always like follow the flower. And even the prototype as all, because we find out later that the prototype is actually Ollie too. Like Ollie is one of the prototype's voices, and it's like look for the flower. So I mean, I could see it in the sense that they're either used the prototype to be a jester and then took this flower idea and the meaning behind the flower to also incorporate in the game, or I also think it could be that they were already using this flower concept with the Jester and kind of took inspiration from that, but it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the prototype, but rather just kind of connects all this stuff together. You see what I mean? So I think it's like they could be using the meaning of it, of the Jester card, and especially the flower concept and everything, but I don't know if that necessarily means he is the Jester. Because again, it's like, what is the meaning? What tarot card is this? This is I don't think this is death. This is like, what? Fucking, like 10 swords or whatever? Hold on. What other tarot card is depicted in Poppy Playtime Christmas art? The Ten of Swords tarot card. Ten of Swords. This card is visible in the art and symbolizes a painful final ending, rock bottom, or betrayal. It is often interpreted as representing a complete breakdown or being stabbed in the back. Also includes other hidden elements like specific Elder Furthark runes and references to a Jester figure. See, I don't get it. I don't get why everybody's focusing on the Jester so much. Because, again, it's like you have this tarot card here. You know what I mean? So it's like, and even if you look at the Halloween art, everybody instantly looked at this face and they were like, that's it. And I'm just like, dude, they wouldn't. I mean, maybe they would, but I don't think they would make it that obvious. Because this whole thing, what draws my attention most out of this image is the hand. I feel like that's got I think that's weird, and I don't know why they would throw that in there. And I'm wondering if they even added just like weird textures in here to like resemble something. Like this looks like this could be something. This looks like this could be something. Hold on, let me minimize this. I don't know if you're chatting this whole time. Okay, let's compare the sleeves here. I need a better resolution of this picture because I feel like this does not do it justice. I mean, yeah, I could see how this does match this too. They definitely are very similar with the yellow and the blue, and then here with the yellow and the blue. It's just I'm really trying to play devil's advocate because with how much this game is keeping this character secret, like, I don't feel like they would really throw it at you that quickly. But, again, I think my biggest things that kind of get me caught up with this is the little homage here that Catnap made to him, because Catnap regarded the prototype as, like, a god that saved his life. I'm pretty sure that's what the deal was. And it's like, there's nothing in here in Catnap's thing that would reference some sort of Jester at all. Unless I'm missing something. And then on top of it, I feel like the frickin', what is it? Here, we can erase some of this to take a look at this screenshot again. Oh wait, that's just erasing my picture. We can just hold on. We can just pull this back up. Let's talk Poppy Playtime. Where's my Poppy Playtime title? Put that back in there. Put that thing back where it came from. Or so help me. So help me. Yeah, I mean, if he does look like a Jester, that's gonna suck. But again, I mean, a Jester, okay, to play devil's advocate to myself, a jester would make sense in the sense of it has to be a toy, right? I mean, honestly, when I was even seeing some of the earlier concepts of what people were running with, how it looked like this weird Terminator, like the frickin' character from the Ritual movie. Well, let me pull that up for y'all just so we can have some context to what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen the Ritual, but it's frickin' creepy as hell. The Ritual. Yeah, sure. We'll pull up this picture. The Ritual's got this same kind of deer-like creature with like a half person hanging off the face, and it's really creepy, and it'll have like two glowing eyes on that. Like, I think that would be kind of disappointing if that's what the prototype ends up looking like, because, again, the name prototype and the fact that all of these things are toys and science experiments gone wrong, if the prototype is not like some sort of toy in and of itself, with at least these other toys being incorporated onto it, then that would just be like, what the hell? So I feel like a jester could make sense. But if we're going back to the theory on the video that we watched earlier, he had noticed patterns of how all the toys that are in all of these chapters were famous toys from the 1900s. And so, I don't know, maybe there is a famous jester toy from the 1900s, maybe early 1900s? Most popular jester toy from early 1900s. Based on the early 1900s antique toy listings and trends, the most popular jester-themed toys were bisque head jester dolls. What were some of the most popular toys in the early 1900s? Teddy bears, Theodore erector sets, Lionel trains, Crayola crayons, Raggedy Ann dolls, tin toys, penny toys, outdoor toys, mechanical construction toys. What are tin toys? Tin toys and penny toys. Oh, yeah, I've seen these. Huh. I don't know, dude. I'm telling you, I think that guy was onto something a year ago before the release of Chapter 4 on the theorizing it could be linked to erector sets, too. Let me keep digging here. Let's see. What kind of erector sets are there? Yeah. I don't know. I think overall, I was just getting excited about this. It's coming out Wednesday. By the way, do you think the prototype is Elliot Ludwig, Poppy's dad? Because I don't. I think just anyone will be talking to a girl like that if they were their father. Oh, you don't think anyone... Yeah, that's another thing people keep talking about is the way how it's like Poppy, come home, like get over here. But it's like I don't think the prototype would be Elliot Ludwig because even in that Mob Entertainment little found footage VHS thing, she calls him by his name, which is the other guy. I can't remember what his name is right now. What is his name? Pierre or whatever? God damn it. Hold on. Now we got to go back and look at that. One sec. But on top of it, I think the way that the prototype refers to Poppy as some sort of like daughter figure or like the, come home, blah, blah, blah. I think that could mainly just be due to the fact that I think the prototype is, well, Elliot Ludwig is the founder of the company, so that would make sense. Because it would be like a father figure in the sense of Poppy is one of his creations. I don't even, this is getting way beyond me, dude. Let's go back and look at the restricted salvation. She calls him Pierre.
It's more than a shave. It's the first thing people notice.
Preston, today.
Second.
Sorry. Please, I'm so
Isn't
sorry.
that
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please.
That's now,
Yeah, she's like, please, Pierre, please.
Doctor.
We must.
Please, I'm so
Isn't
sorry.
that right?
Yeah, she keeps calling him Pierre. But I don't remember who Pierre is in the game, if I'm going to be honest with you. Who is Pierre in Poppy Playtime? Leith Pierre, right, is the arrogant, amoral head of innovation at Playtime Co. and Poppy Playtime and major character in Project Playtime. He serves as a key antagonist who managed the Bigger Bodies initiative, turning humans into toys. Okay, so I had that correct this whole time. I don't think I put it together listening to the tapes, but I knew the experiments that they were running was that they were doing a FNAF thing and turning people into toys, not just making toys come alive. And that makes sense why there's a lot of stake in what's going on, because when you're killing all these toys, you're actually killing real human beings, which makes a lot of sense. Okay. Got you. He took over as the leading authority after Elliot Ludwig, managing the company's dark secrets and unethical experiments. He appears in the audio logs, VHS tapes, and in his project Playtime as a guide, often expressing disdain for the toys and employees. He is cruel and narcissistic. He views the Transform experiments as mere monsters and dismisses their humanity. He sends and sacrifices resources extractions teams to collect parts from dangerous areas of the factory. So, right here. Leith Pierre, he'll eventually forget all about you, Leith Pierre expressing his disdain towards Poppy. Leith Pierre is the main antagonist of the Poppy Playtime, remnant animatronic YouTube series by Sakura Arch. He is the head of innovation at Playtime Co. Yeah, it's weird because he's like talking all this trash to Poppy, and he keeps locking up Poppy in the box and all that, and that's kind of how it started. He's obviously doing all this jazz, and I can't remember what they said in the way that he saved Catnap somehow, but holy crap, does this thing go in the weeds, man. I think the amount of freaking Leith Pierre alive when the prototype was, head of innovations. Leith Pierre can't be the prototype because the prototype was alive when Elliot Ludwig was. He talked to the prototype. Well, prototype was alive when Elliot Ludwig was. Are you saying? Well, that little blurb was saying that Leith Pierre actually took over from the prototype, right? But where are you getting that the prototype was alive when Elliot Ludwig was? Because even then, if what I'm thinking is the prototype concept could have been there, but it probably wasn't this morphed human being version. Prototype was alive when Leith Pierre was. I mean, I don't know. In the VHS tape thing, she's like, Leith Pierre, please, no. Help me. Oh my god. Hold on.
God. God.
Dr. Newman.
Now, Doctor. We must.
Please, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please.
That's
See, she was like, please, leave Pierre, please. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Please, I'm so sorry.
See, you hear that? You hearing that little blurb there? We got captions on this thing. Where the captions at? Turn them on. I feel like I just had them on. Am I tripping? I might be tripping. Where's closed captions? I'm deaf.
we must.
Please, I'm so sorry.
Either she said Leith Pierre or she just said please, please Pierre. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So oh, and the VHS tapes he talked to him. I mean, what I'm thinking is though is if they're running these experiments to turn humans into toys, he could have just, if the prototype was already sort of a thing prior. Wanda, thank you so much for the subscribe. Seriously, it helps me out a lot. Thank you. I appreciate you. But I'm assuming what could have happened was if he's turning people into toys and whatnot, he could have just incorporated himself into the prototype, and then that's when maybe the prototype started building off into things. Because again, if the prototype was just an original toy, it would be like the original prototype that started the company, right? And so if the original prototype started the company, it could have been like a small toy, and then it was an experiment they were running, and then he was interviewing them and stuff, and then he incorporated himself into that toy, and then when he was part of the prototype, that's when he started taking parts of the other toys and kind of combining them, and then really turning into this giant monster. Do I know about Iron Lung? I do. I actually went to go see Iron Lung in theaters. We could do a whole nother video about Iron Lung. What do y'all think about Iron Lung? Hi, how you doing? You can hear the grab pack in the chase scene. Yeah, that's what Tanner was also trying to tell me. And I was having a really tough time hearing that. I mean, we can do this whole rigmarole again. We can pull it up again, but I was having a tough time hearing the grab pack in this chase scene. But I'm really curious what videos y'all are watching that's kind of giving y'all this information, because I want to hear the breakdown of it. It's the same way I'll watch Ghost Files, and they'll be like, if you listen very closely, you'll hear someone say their name, and then they play the video back, and there's like absolutely nothing. It's like, what are you talking about? But let me look here. Let's pull the video back up. Roll the clip. Do you think the eyes are that's looking at us? Are you talking in this? You said even there's a movie in Iron Lung? No, I know. I saw the movie in theaters. It was Markiplier had made it. I thought it was really well done, given the fact that, first off, it was self-funded and whatnot, but also their VFX and everything were really good, and as a video editor, I really appreciated that. All right, where do you hear the grab pack when you see the door open? Yeah, I was seeing the eyes through the beginning of this, and this was the first time I had actually looked at it, and I thought the same thing. I was like, wait a minute. Which I also find interesting, though, because the prototype supposedly has one eye, according to some of the things we see, but in this, if this is the prototype kind of stalking this chick in the VHS tape, there's two glowing eyes. Where was it at? It was like right up here first. It ends up being like over here, I think. Yeah, right here. That's so creepy. That is so creepy, dude. That freaks me out. I don't know why. And then right here. Yeah. Oh God, dude. That's so freaky. Ready? Bingo. Oh, hold on. Wait, we gotta really have good reaction time on this. Right there. Leith Pierre. Are you saying looks like catnap? Okay. I brought this up earlier. And this is kind of what my thing is cuz with the way so my thing is I believed that it's possible that the prototype's face, like they used parts of Catnap's face on the prototype's face. I kind of already broke some of this down, but I'll do it again because in the game trailer at the end of the thing where you see the reflection in the shards of glass, everybody
build your way to more reward.
When you see the reflection in the shards of glass, everybody had, what's it called, pointed at, because again, I think the same thing that Tanner's trying to tell me about here in the chat is that a lot of people are running with this concept of the Jester, given the, the artwork from, what's it called, the artwork from Christmas on top of the way it matches up with this New Year's thing and how this looks like a Jester sleeve right there, plus the Jester sleeve you see in the background of this right here. And then they tried connecting that to this little footage right here at the very end. And I remember someone was in my comments once telling me, like, in the way the head moves, you can see, like, someone had pieced together parts of the glass and it looked like some sort of Jester hat. But I think it's just because we have this sort of, I guess, like, confirmation bias in the sense of that's what we're thinking, so that's what we're seeing. But if you ask me, this is reminiscent of Catnap right here, and the way the eye glows the same as Catnap's. It looks like it's got this gaping hole around the way the eye glows, right? And then on top of it, if you look at when he leans up, right in here in the shard of glass, it looks like an ear kind of flops out or something. Right there. Let me go back. Now, that's not really a whole lot to go off of, so I'm not going to die on that hill. But if we go off the basis of thinking that the prototype is a culmination of the toys that they've kind of picked up, and they're doing all this weird zombifying of toys and incorporating it into themselves, I feel like it would make sense that it would be a conglomeration of the things we've already seen rather than a completely different character. And if it was a completely different character, it would have to be like some other famous toy, but not necessarily, like, because I think the Jester would just be like, sure, it could be a toy, but it would just be so random, and it wouldn't really make sense if I'm being honest. Like, I think the way they use the Jester and all the art forms and stuff like that is more for the meaning behind it and the symbolism behind it. But besides that, I don't think the Jester has too much weight. But again, a lot of people are already putting out theory videos on it and really running with that idea. So who am I, small YouTuber, to completely disregard everything everybody's been working on? But when you see the open door, what are your thoughts on the Catnap ARG? What is a Catnap ARG? Am I missing something? Do I not know something about the Catnap ARG? What do you mean ARG? What does that mean? Y'all are speaking a different language. ARG? Hold on. Let me just look this up real quick. What is Catnap ARG? Get the hell out of here, Luke. Catnap Arg? What? Okay. All I'm seeing is like pictures of his eyes. Is that kind of what y'all are talking about? What does catnap arg mean? All. The arg was just revealed. What the hell does arg mean? What does what does this mean? What is this terminology? I don't know this diction. I'm still fairly new to video games. Oh, the restricted salvation. Oh, those tapes. Oh, let me look it up on YouTube rather than just general search. Catnap arg. I feel like these are all fan made. Oh, hold on. Let's watch this together, shall we? This looks interesting. Oh, hell no. That's what I think, dude. Are you kidding me? What?
What is your name? What is your experiment number? Can you tell me who you are?
In relation, experiment number 1188, catnap. Original expiration date, 1107. Experiment date, 1107, 1990. Okay. Did they release these types of tapes for every character? On 11/22/1990, subject 1188 was sent for reconditioning following an incident which resulted in the death of 6 staff and injury of 8 others. Dog, you need to instantly shoot that dude in the head. R.I.P. Doughy, but R.I.P. Catnap needed to happen. Dude, he was a problem. Dude, Catnap freaked me the hell out. Honestly, though, it would be cool if they elaborated on the little Smiling Friends cartoons that they made. I don't know why, but like that opening scene of the Smiling Critters, that I enjoyed that very much. I don't know why. It reminded me of old like Pajamas Sam video games that I played as a kid, and like that was very comforting for me. Yeah, dude, Catnap. From the beginning, it was clear 1188 would. Hold on a minute. Would need extensive treatment. Yeah, Catnap was definitely level 5 threat.
Feels weird seeing them like this.
Like what?
Like feral? I don't know. I hardly recognize them.
Preston, if I didn't know you, I'd say you sounded like a new guy.
What the hell?
Does it ever bother you the way they act after we...
No, not really. The work's important.
Theodore. My name is Theodore.
That sounded important.
I know it's important, Newman, but you can't deny the cost is... well, there is a cost.
You just can't dwell on it. The trick is to stay focused. Besides, if Grace's treatment plan here works, 1188 won't be feral for long. What is your name? What is... yes, your name, please.
Is Catnap.
the Chase Sapphire Lounge by the
Get out
club.
of here, dude. Get out of here. Hold on. Catnap's real name is Theodore? You're telling me he's one of those chipmunks? Who is Theodore in Poppy Playtime? I don't care. Get out of here. Theo Gramble is a central tragic character in Poppy Playtime, revealed to be the human child who was transformed into the antagonist Catnap. Experiment 1188. An orphan living in the play care facility, Theodore became deeply attached to a mysterious imaginary friend, revealed to be the Experiment 1006, the prototype. What now? Oh God, dude, this game is getting even cooler, if I'm being honest with you. The depth they are going through with this, because that is creepy as all get out. Hold on, I want to watch more of these restricted videos. What is this? Oh, my computer glitching hard. Oh no, this is not good. Oh God, what happened? Oh dude, wait, what's happening? Theodore Grable is his full name. He was electrocuted using green grab pack hand. The prototype saved him, and the scientist turned him into Catnap to save his life. That's why he worships him like a god. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that he had saved whoever Catnap was in general, but I was just like blanked out for half of it, so I never like fully put together. Like, when I was playing the game, I wasn't really keeping mental notes of everything, therefore I kind of lost track of this stuff, so I do remember that now that you're saying that. But you know what I find interesting is the fact that the green grab pack is what almost killed him, and then that's what you end up killing him with. I'm just kidding. That's probably a very general conclusion that you all already know about, so I'm not even going to go there. But let's watch this one. Later, Red Bull. You have a great rest of your night. Thank you for being here.
Not sure if that's good or bad.
Someone will come for us. We just need to sit tight.
Jessica?
They'll send a team.
Jessica.
Specialists, probably. It's going to be one hell of a cleanup operation.
Okay, it's 95.
Well, when we get back to that lift, it should be a straight shot to the surface.
But back here, see? Does Bio even connect to the executive lift? I don't think it does. Maybe diorama all four, the service shaft to the train terminal, the train...
No, all four is facing east. This is backwards.
It can't be backwards. It has to connect to... This map can't be right. Once we're out, where will you go?
Well, I suppose I'd owe my wife a few explanations, wouldn't I? Not that that makes up for anything.
At least you have a life to go back to. Growing up in play care, running back as soon as I had my degree. My entire life was here.
That's,
Sad? I never thought about it that way. Not until this.
Well, maybe this is what we get. All we've done for...
You don't have anything to...
Hold on, you just said something. Did you comment that in one of my videos too? And I was like, wait, who's Max Taylor? And then I was like, wait, I know who that is. I didn't know he had, like, gaming videos. I think you've said that before, but thank you, I appreciate that. Even though I'm not a shredded frickin' ginger guy who probably pulls all the chicks. I'm just a dirty hoe. Oh, that was Tanner, okay.
apologize for.
Well, thank you, appreciate it.
We were doing good work. It's not your fault this all blew up in our faces.
But...
Oh, hold on, what is this? What is it? What am I reading? Nobody safe. Everyone suffers some more than others, but you aren't powerless. If you believe, keep this note and the next one. The next blank, if you don't burn it, don't be stupid. The theater incident. What theater incident? The theater incident, the disappearances, the sightings, all one true, all are connected, all are true, all are connected. Oh damn, what is this saying?
Our faces.
But
can you hear us?
Preston, you don't need time.
I just couldn't stand by and watch it happen anymore.
What are you saying?
I had no other choice.
You let them. You let them. And you didn't think they would do something like this? Tell me this is some kind of joke. My God, how could you do that?
Not just me. There were others, and we all knew this wasn't right. I think you know that too.
No, don't try to rationalize it just because you got cold feet, because you couldn't stomach the work.
Oh, the work. The work was wrong.
It's not that simple. You were still a part of it as much as the rest of us. We were supposed.
Wizard?
I don't care. Get out of here. Man, we have covered the Sleep Well music video has lore. They got lore in so many things in this, dude. Honestly, props to Mob Entertainment for being this involved in the game they're creating. I always enjoy when game developers actually seem to give a shit about what they're doing, instead of just slapping something together and throwing it out in the wind and saying, have a good one. I don't know. Overall, I think we covered a lot on this one. My brain's getting fried with all this information, but it's definitely something I want to dive into if it doesn't get revealed on Wednesday. Because Chapter 5 comes out on Wednesday, and I will try to make it as much of a mission to get a video out playing it on Wednesday. But thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. And stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!